Alright, what is going on, boys? We got a trade recap today for Friday, March 14th. I took a W today on ES. A nice 1.7 RR trade. So we're going to go over my bias, what I was looking for. I think I'm going to include the live trade. I recorded my entry and exit and my analysis in the middle of this trade as well. So I'm going to include that at the beginning of the video. So if you're seeing this, it's probably after that live portion.
Yeah, I bet you're happy now. Probably found you someone new who's got his life all figured out. You thinking about us.
Alright, tapped in long here on this 1 minute fair value gap. Looking for buy side to get taken. We've had displacement to the upside. We ran through this bearish imbalance. So looking for bullish reactions. Moving stops to break even after taking the internal high here.
Gonna make some heads turn sideways. Every time they're out and they see us, but we don't need to hear what they're thinking.
Added a contract here on this fair value gap. Alright, we should take buy side here in the next candle or two. I don't see anything stopping price from continuing up to take this liquidity. Just gonna be patient, have confidence in it. There's a reason I entered this trade. This is the drawn liquidity. It should get taken here.
Taste on my breath.
Alright, I took 2 contracts off here after closing below this order block. But we came back down. We're holding this 1 minute for value gap. So a little bit of a de-risk. I was in with 5 contracts, took 2 off. I'm still in with 3 right here. Looking to see this buy side liquidity get taken. We should take it. Alright, there we go. Nice market maker buy model displacement to the upside. Love to see it, man. But yeah, man, let's get into the bias. Today I was actually long biased. Yes, the daily time frames, the daily and the weekly are all bearish, but we came down yesterday and put in an SMT at these lows, and we started to form structure to the upside. So we put in these SMTs at the lows here yesterday after reacting out of a 4-hour fair value gap. We came down, manipulated these lows, and I noticed that we had all of this generated buy side liquidity. We have all these generated highs up here. And overnight we started to form bullish structure, and we started to displace to the upside, especially when market opened. When we started to make higher highs and higher lows. So I noticed that. I also noticed that, for example, if we go to the 4-hour chart on either of these works. If we go to the 4-hour chart, you'll see I have this 4-hour swing high marked out. If we were to flip bearish, right? If we were to flip bullish, let's say we want to come up to this weekly imbalance. Let's say we want to come up to this new opening gap that we had this whole week. If we wanted to flip bullish, what would need to happen? We would need to see a close and displacement above this 4-hour swing high here. So this becomes the obvious, the clear draw on liquidity. This is the swing high that we would need to break in order to become bullish on the higher time frames. So when we scale down to the lower time frames, this is the most prominent high to me. And this range right here. Also, if we take standard deviation of this SMT, this was the manipulation leg, the leg down that caused the manipulation. This last leg down here. Standard deviation lines up perfectly with this 4-hour swing high. This is also a data high from Wednesday that was untapped from CPI. So there is a lot of confluences to the upside. I notice coming into the market open, we have this 15-minute fair value gap that I'm looking to get tapped into and respected to the upside. Now we actually tapped into it twice. We had news drop at 10 a.m. New York time, 30 minutes into market open, and that's when we first tapped into it. So let's go to market replay. We first, right when market opened, we basically opened up within this fair value gap, and we had taken these lows right here. And I was looking for displacement to the upside in this situation right when market opens to target this high here. And we got it, but we didn't have an entry. You can see we come down, put in a low, we open up this 1-minute bullish fair value gap, and I was originally looking for price to come into there, respect it, and get a buy model to the upside. But we never, you can see this played out very, very fast with that market open volatility, but we never pulled back to the fair value gap, so there's no entry for me to this original high here. So that is what happened when, right when market opened, I was looking for longs here, and then we kind of chop around. I'm expecting higher prices, but we have, keep in mind, we have that 10 a.m. news that drops 30 minutes into market open, and this is what took us all the way back down to manipulate these lows within the 15-minute fair value gap again. So you can see we're still holding this 15-minute. All we did was come back down and remanipulate these lows, and I'm still bullish. My bias, my higher time frame bias hasn't changed. We're still respecting this fair value gap. We just come down to manipulate them again with this 10 a.m. news candle. And it was the same situation on ES. So ES is what I actually took the trade on. So let's go full screen ES right here. Let's go to the 1-minute market replay. So that news candle drops. We come back down, manipulate these lows, and at this point I need to see a lot more structure form in order to take a long. I need to see swing highs put in, and I need to see displacement above a swing high in order to be targeting this 15-minute buy side liquidity. You might be asking, why don't we enter on this inverse fair value gap right here? Well, A, there's two inverse fair value gaps within this range. There's one right here and there's one right here. In order for an inverse fair value gap trade to be valid in this situation, we would need the last bearish fair value gap in the range to get disrespected. And that's way too close to the buy side liquidity. So there's no valid entry here on this inverse fair value gap. That's number one. And B, like I said, I would need to see with the way that I trade with my model, the way that I found most success, I would need to see displacement above a swing high that was put in. Because you'll notice this original move here is just generating liquidity. This is just generating this high right here. We then put in another high. These are generated highs to eventually go run them once we actually displace to the upside. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So we come up, like I said, we tap into this fair value gap and we generate this high. We generate liquidity. We come down. We take this internal low. Right? Then we come up and generate liquidity. We generate this swing high as well. So now in the situation, I'm looking for this swing high to get broken with displacement to the upside, and I'm also looking for this inverse fair value gap right here to get run, because this is the last inverse. This is the last bearish fair value gap within the range. If we can run through this bearish fair value gap, and if we can displace above this swing high, this tells me that we're not going to come back down and manipulate this low most likely. If that was going to happen, we would respect this fair value gap and we wouldn't displace higher. So that's what's going through my mind. I'm waiting for to see displacement, and we get that right here. We close above this swing high, we get displacement, we disrespect this bearish fair value gap, and now I am ready to go, and I've had all the confirmation that I need to see this buy side liquidity, to have this buy side liquidity as my draw on liquidity. And I took trade on ES because ES was a lot, ES showed more strength on this move right here, and that it was moving faster, and it was higher up in the range than NQ. Therefore, it's logical to assume that ES is going to take this buy side liquidity before NQ does. So I want to be in the stronger, faster moving index. So I have limit orders set at this 1 minute fair value gap right here. We come down, get tapped in, stops are below these lows, and we displace higher. And I actually added one contract, or actually added 2 contracts right here. So we tap into this 1 minute, we come back up, and we close above this swing high that was put in. And we open up this 1 minute fair value gap. You can see it actually didn't really get tapped into, but my limit order was set right on this candle wick right here. So I added 2 contracts. Original entry was with 3, added 2 more on this right here. So now my new position, I entered here, my stops are now below this swing low. So I moved my stops up on this original trade all the way up to below this swing low right here. Boom. And now my average fill is about, like right here. Insane risk to reward ratio. Insane. I'm going to move this back down. But I added and scaled in right there. Unfortunately, though, I did take them off, and I'll go over why. We then displaced higher, or not displaced, but we then closed more candles above this new swing high that was put in and created this order block right here. So this is the new PD array. This is the new bullish PD array that I'm looking to get respected. We come down and we close below this order block, so I took those 2 contracts off. Just in case, because it looked like we were starting to, I still had confidence in the model, right? I still held my 3 contracts, but I took the 2 off that I added, because at this point my stops are at break even. After coming up to this swing high, I want to see this buy side liquidity get taken fairly quickly. So my average fill, like I said, is right around here. My stops are at break even at this point in time, and so we close below this order block. Potential to get stopped at break even, so I took 2 contracts off because we did close below that order block. But as you can see, we came back down to the 1 minute fair value gap and respected it, and then we continued to the upside to the buy side liquidity. And yeah, man, that's the trade. That's the trade recap. Nothing too crazy. Today was more about staying patient. The whole morning, this was the move that I wanted to see, right? Actually, the original move, like I said on NQ, I wasn't able to be a part of. But this took an hour plus of waiting and just waiting and just waiting and letting more structure form and waiting for the market to tell me when it was ready to go after we displaced higher and disrespected this bearish fair value gap. And as you can see, we get tapped in and we never go into any drawdown, and it's just up only to the 15-minute buy side liquidity. And so that is the trade recap for today, man. So yeah, very solid trade. Very happy with my patience and very happy with my execution. So yeah, man. I did record this live trade, so live trade will be up on YouTube Shorts and TikTok as well. But yeah, that is the trade recap for today. Great way to end the week, and I had a great week, trading week this week, up significantly. So yeah, man, it feels good. It feels good to have a good week and to end the week off on a good Friday. So that is the trade recap. I appreciate you watching. I will see you on the next one. Peace.